Hey guys, so doing a quick update on the previous video so we can check out the fruits of our labor, but this is what I was using for years. For about 20 years, this is what I was using in my garage door, and I didn't realize that this stuff, this lubricant, low temp, was basically just allowing more and more dirt to collect inside of the bearings, and I kept putting more and more and more of this stuff, not realizing that it was doing more harm than good. So that stuff's gone. I'm never going to use that again. This is what I use now to clean out the crud left behind from this, but Blaster Garage Door Lubricant is what I use. So let's check out the fruits of our labor. And by the way, for future reference, this red thing right here is the straw or the extender tube that you can connect into your nozzle so that you can get those really tricky, hard to reach places. But let's check out the fruits of our labor. So when you come over here now to my bearings, look at how clean they are. Oh my God, like, I sprayed in there, used an old towel to clean out the old grease, sprayed again, cleaned out more grease, then sprayed a third time, cleaned out more grease, and then finally the fourth and last time was it. And this is what you see right here, and the bearing spins freely. I sprayed in there to lubricate that and to clean that out. Like I said, it's a combination of spray once, clean, and then spray again to lubricate. And basically, the manufacturer recommends doing this every 6 months. So every 6 months, just go in and spray a dab, clean out, and then spray again. So another good metal-to-metal contact pivot point up here is your bearing in the upper wheel pulley assembly. So let me explain all this. So basically, this cable, see this silver cable right here? This silver cable connects to the bottom of the door. And what happens is when you open the door, basically that cable is what's pulling the door up. So this pulley spins. So anytime you have spinning action, metal-metal contact, you want to make sure that you lubricate. So between that gap and that small little tiny gap in there, you want to put 1 or 2 squirts in there, and then you also want to put a squirt or 2 right there at the end of the bearing. And as you can see now, it's nice and lubricated. It looks shiny and clean. And basically, you want to spray in there just to make sure that you get in there. But once you spray it, the lubricant actually gets sucked up into the metal. Okay, so I have a double-sided insulated door. There's a few hinge points on the door itself. So on the outer part of the door, that's a hinge point where you want to spray in there just 1 or 2 squirts. And then that right there is a hinge point. You want to spray, if I get focused, 1 or 2 squirts. And then sort of in the middle of the door and along the door, you have these points. Basically, your hinge point would be there and there. So make sure you spray a quick squirt in there, quick squirt in there. And then basically repeat that process down the door. The same thing with your bearings. Make sure you get the middle, the lower middle, and then obviously the bottom. So that does it for the sides. In the middle, you should have, if you have a double garage door, you should have 2 springs, like 1 spring on the left side, 1 spring on the right side. That's very important. If you don't, you may want to contact a garage door installing professional and ask them, depending on the weight of your door, if you do need that second spring. But long story short is you do want to spray your springs. And the way I did that was basically first I wiped them down with a towel just to get all the dust off. Then I went in and sprayed the very top of the spring with like 1 or 2 passes. And then obviously the lubricant will drip down between all the coils. Just make sure that there's no excess dripping down onto your door. If there is, just take a towel and just pat the underside. But you don't want to, once you spray it with lubricant, you don't want to re-wipe it down with a towel again because you're just going to add more dirt in there. But basically just spray the lubricant on once or twice on each spring. There's also a bearing right here between the two. You want to make sure you get a squirt or 2 in there. And that's basically it. And then on the other side, you just repeat the process. So make sure you spray between the pulley and that bracket, and then obviously the bearing that's inside of the pulley on this side. So basically that bearing right there. Okay, so then you have all of your rollers. You want to make sure that you spray and clean the bearing, spray and clean in here, then spray and clean the hinge point again on the door. Make sure you spray inside the roller. So this one actually lends itself to going in there with the nozzle and just and spraying it right there. Okay, so I have a Genie screwdriver. Let's talk about that for a second. So the way this works is your garage door, you should have a bracket, right? You want to give a squirt of lubricant in there. Then the bracket connects to something like a shuttle, which is basically, so I can focus here, which is basically right there, that's the shuttle. Then the shuttle connects to the screw drive with what's called the trolley. Different manufacturers will call it different things, but basically the trolley is actually what runs along the screw drive, and then the trolley is connected to the shuttle, shuttle is connected to the door. So anyways, long story short is disconnect, you usually have that red cord here, just pull the red cord, disconnect the shuttle from the trolley so that the door, or that the garage door is not pulling any weight. But what I would do is go ahead and hit your remote control, activate the screw drive, and just spray the heck out of that screw drive, so that as you're walking along, spraying as the screw drive is spinning, you're helping to clean out some of that crud that's in there. So that would be your first pass. The second pass, what I would do is do not engage the motor. You're going to lose a finger this way, but do not engage the motor. But what I would do is just go in with a towel and just wipe down that screw drive. Make sure you get all the crud out as much as you possibly can. Then what I would do is go back in, make sure that your hands are away from the screw drive, but go ahead, see if I can get this, go ahead and hit your remote control, activate the screw drive, and then just from like a foot away, like a good distance, about a foot away, just go ahead and start spraying that screw drive again, just to make sure everything's lubricated. So then what you can do is go ahead and reconnect the shuttle to the trolley. And then basically, sorry, my flash died, but basically reconnect the shuttle to the trolley and then run the door a couple times, and it should sound a lot better, less squeaky, etc., etc. Okay, so last little piece that you can lubricate, it's an option. I'm not sure if I'm going to get exposure right here, but where the screw drive, see if I can get focus at least, where the screw drive connects into the motor, just give it one squirt. You don't want to overspray that because you might damage the electronics. But just give it one quick squirt so that you lube that bearing, the bearing that's right there where the screw drive connects into your motor. Sorry guys for the exposure. My flash literally just died. But I will catch you on the next video. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm here to help you solve life's problems that I've gone through, and hopefully my experience helps you. Thanks.